Welcome, welcome. We're doing another free training today. Dakota and I are going to be diving into some of the must-have tools for marketing to make your life way easier. We get asked this all the time, like, what's the tech stack that you guys use? What are some of the things that you guys are utilizing all across the board, right? And what we've done is we compile the whole list, and what we've tried to do to make it even more valuable for you guys is showing you guys all of the ones that are also free. So really great tools to get started with that will cost you nothing to get started, and some of them are just free forever. So hopefully this training provides a lot of value to you guys if you're looking for some, great tools and softwares to kind of make your life easier. So
yes, I mean, what's cool, I think, about the fact that a lot of these are free is that it kind of eliminates excuses. And I think a lot of people think like, well, I don't have enough money to like buy the tools I need to get started, and that's not just with marketing, that's with anything. Like, right. I've heard it said a lot of times when people are looking into like, what camera should I buy to start photography, or, what video camera should I buy to start my daily vlog or whatever. Right. The right answer is the one you have. Like, don't go buy anything, right? Use what you have now. Like, use your phone, right? Use your whatever, because ultimately quality can get better with an investment, of course, with anything, but you can usually get started without having all of that stuff. And you can get scrappy and figure out a way, especially on the internet today, to do things for cheap or free, rather than, upgrading right away into the most expensive thing and sort of wasting your budget early on. So that's why we're emphasizing free today, the word free.
Yes. yes. Cool. Well, we've got a doc typed out. We'll go ahead and share a screen to go ahead and show you guys what we have rocking. 1 second. Let me present here. Share screen. Cool. Go entire screen. Okay.
There we go.
Cool. All right. Sorry, that took a second. All right, guys. So must-have tools. So this is one of the docs that we showcase and use inside of AdClass. But just like good home construction workers have great tools, so do great marketers, right? You're only as good as the tools that you have at your disposal. So if you want to save some time and energy and make your life way easier, you definitely got to have this stuff. And so we've typed up a must-haves list. And again, everything here on this list pretty much is going to be free, or at least free to start. So yeah, Dakota, you want to kick us off with some of the tools?
Yes, sir. And go ahead and zoom in a couple clicks, Caleb, on yours. I can see a little bit, but it might be hard to see on Facebook. There we go. Sweet. So number one here is something that we've been talking about a lot, and this wouldn't have been on any of our lists, a couple years back or even a year ago. But now we've started implementing ChatGPT into kind of our workflow, and it's actually quickly becoming something that we can't live without. Specifically ChatGPT for use of like copywriting, like, just getting idea generation. Like, basically, if you hit a brick wall in your head on what to do next, GPT is usually a really good way to like get a different perspective without having to talk to another human. So it's actually becoming, for me, like a really good fountain of like creative ideas. And then I usually kind of take the ideas and run with them on my own after that. I'm not really using it to like, take me to the finish line necessarily on an idea. But if I'm writing copy, I'll go to GPT, I'll write in like my idea for the copy, and I'll ask it to write me some more hooks or, a call to action or something like that. So one thing that I wanted to highlight, though, I think everybody kind of already knows about ChatGPT. One thing that's happening right now is that like people are going to start charging for GPT. They have like a premium mode already, and over time, it's not going to be a free feature or a free tool to use. And so you kind of have to find different platforms that are using the technology and that are trying to acquire users, and so that are offering it for free still. And the most recent example of this is Bing. So if you don't know, Microsoft owns Bing, and they have been dying for years and years to try to compete with Google. And so Bing has come out recently with their version of ChatGPT enhanced search. And what's hilarious about this is that it's actually using GPT-4, which is the brand new version that came out this week of ChatGPT, which is like mind blowing.
They were
So
ready. Yeah, they were ready.
Yeah. Oh, they were so ready. They're like, okay, cool. When this happens, we're gonna capitalize on it. And so, if you want to use ChatGPT right now and you want to get like the best version with unlimited use, here's what you need to do. You need to go to Bing and you need to download Microsoft Edge. Unfortunately, you have to use their browser. But that's how they're getting them, right? Like they're like, hey man, we're gonna offer this for free, but you got to download our browser, you know. So it's kind of like throwback to Windows XP days, Internet Explorer days. But you have to download their browser, and then in their browser you get free access to ChatGPT 4.0. I think it's worth it because it's a super strong like search engine now, enhanced with basically AI layered right on top of it. So actually, Caleb, I'll share my screen really quick because I have it pulled up, and I think it's super interesting because you can ask it pretty much anything. So let me just show really quick an example. And once again, you have to have Microsoft Edge installed. So I do, but this is what it looks like, right? So this is Bing AI. So you know, if you scroll down from here, it goes to just regular old Bing, right? But if I scroll back up, it gets into Bing AI, and this is where you can kind of access ChatGPT. So this is a free tool. I asked it, what are the best free tools for marketers? And it spit out all of these answers. And what's really cool about it is that since it's layered in with a search engine, it's actually citing its sources, and those sources are actually like SEO results. Right. So you can kind of see where it got all of this information from. So, you know, it can answer all of this. And then if it says like Hotjar, they'd be like, cool, what can I do with Hotjar? You know, whatever. And it can continue to kind of give you answers. So not only is it a search engine, but it also can like create copy for you. It can also do all the things that ChatGPT does. So this is a really cool resource. I don't want to go too much more in depth on it, but if anyone has questions on it, throw it in the chat. You know, here you go though. It's gonna go through hotjar.com, Zapier.com. It's gonna pull results. What can I do with this, right? And I can ask it really nuanced questions to get better results as well. I think this is a really, really cool thing. It's worth downloading Microsoft Edge for.
For sure. Yeah. I mean, like it's one of the only ways right now to like easily access GPT-4. So if you're trying to be on like the cutting edge of AI and like what's possible there, then like absolutely worth testing out.
Yep.
For sure.
Absolutely. Cool. That's tool number one.
All right. Tool number one. All right. So let me share this again. All right. So that's ChatGPT. We won't spend much time on this next one. It should be kind of a no-brainer. If you're a business person, right, and you use email, which you should probably use Gmail. Use Google Drive with it, right? We use it literally every day for everything. We organize all of our files there. We write our copy in there. We use Google Sheets for PPC and data tracking. We use Google Slides for presentations. I mean, the list goes on and on. It's kind of a no-brainer in the business suite. So if you're not on Gmail, like highly recommend moving over because the power of G Suite is just honestly incredible. So next one is Adveronics. This one might be one that you guys have not heard of yet. Dakota and I were just absolutely shocked and stunned when we found this because it had been something that we had been looking for and trying to figure out for a long time, which is how do we get our PPC data tracking into Google Sheets really efficiently without having to pay for something like Supermetrics, which is ridiculously expensive, right? And we came across this Adveronics plugin. You can get it for free to start, connects directly into Google Sheets, and will literally automatically pull all of your media buying spend data directly into Google Sheets. That's really powerful if you're trying to do things like reports for clients or just a deeper analysis in your data than maybe Facebook or Google can do on platform. So if you're looking at PPC data, I mean, this is a no-brainer if you're pulling data into Google Sheets right now. So anything you want to add there?
No, I mean, we could show kind of how it works, but ultimately it's just an extension. So if you go into your Google Sheets, if you're looking for how to get Adveronics, you go into Google Sheets and then you go under extensions and then you can add, an add-on right there. So it's under add-ons, get add-ons, search up Adveronics. There's a lot of really good YouTube videos out there on how to use Adveronics since it's a free tool. Highly recommend this. Like, usually when we tell people to set up a PPC sheet, it's good for a couple of days, and then they get tired of going back in and like filling out the data. So what this does is it allows you to basically have a robot fill the data out for you, and you just spot check it. I mean, it's a really, really nice addition to your data tracking.
For sure. No brainer. And it's free. So that's
free.
Amazing. Next one, Slack. This one is pretty much well adopted. But if you're not on the Slack train yet, you should definitely check it out. There's mixed feelings about this. I feel like you either really love Slack, which we do, or you're like anti-Slack. It needs to just burn and like never be used ever again. So we've met people from both sides of the aisle for sure. We're in the vein that like Dakota and I, our whole team is remote. So everybody works remote. So this to us is kind of like how our whole team like interacts with each other and communicates. So a lot of our culture and like how we laugh and joke and talk together is done through Slack. So we're really big fans of it. It's a great platform to just kind of be able to manage communication across your team. If you have clients, it's a really great way to integrate them into your current communication style. And we've found that it just is way more efficient than email. Because email nowadays, I just feel like is just like a clogged mess. Whereas on Slack, where it's just like instant, it almost kind of feels like instant messenger chat with everybody that you work with. And also doesn't tend to get like super distracting either if you know how to manage it well. I think if you let it get out of control, it totally can. But if you have proper SOPs in place with your team and you have channels cleaned up and each has a purpose, it's a really, really great tool to communicate with everybody. So
yes.
So that is Slack. Loom, you wanna talk about Loom, Dakota?
Yes, sir. I'm also I'm just putting these all in the comments for you guys. So we're live now in 2 destinations. We're on the AdClass page and in the group. So if you're on the page and not in the group, you want to join the free group. Just throwing that out there. But I'm putting the comments in both places so that you guys see what's up. But yes, Loom is huge. So here's the thing. As you guys know, when you send a message to someone, a text message, like whether it's on your phone or whether it's via email or whether even if it's in Slack, right? It's very hard to portray emotion with that message. Especially I've found when working with people who are of different generations, right? And now that I'm like, almost 30 years old in the workforce, I find myself working with people who are 10 years younger than me and 10 or 20 years older than me. And when I send a message, it's more important now than ever that I send the message in a way that everybody can understand where I'm coming from, 100%. Both from like an emotional perspective and also just like from how I'm feeling like when I'm actually saying those words. So text is very easily misinterpreted now. At least that's what I'm, I lean toward just believing that because it's safer to believe that. So instead of sending text, I like to send a video message because then right away, exactly how I feel about the topic and we're kind of on the same page emotionally, right? So Loom is the best way to do that. Loom is basically the free version of Loom lets you record up to 5 minutes. It lets you share your screen or you can do just a video and you can basically walk through exactly what you want to tell the person with detail, even if it's the most nuanced topic ever, and they can see exactly what you want to say in a really quick and concise way. And what's nice about Loom is that it can replace meetings because now we don't need to get on a 30-minute meeting to talk about a topic. I can just send you a 5-minute Loom. You can watch it at 2x speed and we can both be on the same page, right? And that is so valuable.
That's the most powerful thing in my opinion about Loom is that it truly eliminates meetings. Because if you can send 2 Looms back and forth and it takes you 2 minutes for you and 2 minutes for the other person, now the meeting's gone and you probably save 30, 45 minutes of your day. So really, really, really huge. Love Loom. So yeah, definitely try it out, guys. If you haven't tried Loom, I honestly use Loom every single day. So okay, cool. Next tool is Trello. So this one we mentioned because again, remember we're trying to show you guys like free tools to get started with. We currently now use Monday, which is kind of like an upgraded like paid version, more features and things. But we started with Trello. So we started with Trello and it's free and it's a project management tool that really helps keep track of what you're working on. And it has the like kind of Kanban style, if you're familiar with project management, of being able to kind of like move cards to different lists. which we've found when you're kind of like going through a checklist or you're going through a process is one of the most efficient ways to keep track of what's going on. So Trello is free. If you're all over the place right now with your project management and you don't have anything, highly recommend getting started there. And then ultimately you probably will grow out of it at some point. And then that's when you can move on to something like Monday.com, which is what we are currently using. Also, ClickUp, Asana is another really big one. But at scale, no matter what business you're in, you're going to need some sort of project management to understand what's going on. So, yeah. That's
the other thing about Trello and a lot of these tools actually that we haven't mentioned yet is you can use another tool that we should probably add to this list called Zapier to integrate a lot of these things together. So one thing I like about Trello is that you can actually integrate it directly with Slack. And when you move a card in Trello, like maybe you're taking a project from in review to complete and you slide that card over in Trello, you can actually integrate that with Slack to then update Slack that now that project is done and it will send you a message, right? And so I think like a lot of these things that we're sort of describing almost an ecosystem of different tools. And a lot of these things are okay by themselves, but they kind of require a lot of other things to work together. And I would say Trello is one of those. Like Trello is only good if you actually go to Trello actively and look at it every day and use it, right? Which is like half the battle with any project management software.
For sure. So true. All right. Next tool, guys, Fathom Note Taker. So you guys might have heard Dakota and I talk about this before. This is a free tool. It is an AI note taker that basically joins in on your Zoom meetings. And I cannot tell you how helpful this has been for Dakota and I at AdClass. So we have this thing in every single Zoom that we ever do. And it records the entire meeting for you, hosts it like on the cloud. So that way, if you want to share that meeting later, you can just share the link and other people can go back to watch the recording of that meeting. It allows you to create highlights and basically it transcribes the entire meeting for you as well. So you have a full transcription of every meeting. And then Dakota even recently came up with this awesome way to use it with Slack, which we just talked about, but you can highlight sections of a meeting and integrate that with a specific Slack channel. So we'll be on a call and if it's being recorded, and if Dakota sees something that is like, or something happens on the meeting that's really valuable or that we want to save a snippet of, he'll mark that on Fathom and then Fathom will take that snippet, that like, minute long snippet of what we're talking about, and then take that and post it to Slack as a video that can be shared inside of Slack. So it's just insanely powerful. And I mean, if you have anybody that's like manually taking notes on your calls right now, this will do that in like 10,000 times more and it's free.
Yes.
So it's kind of a no-brainer.
So valuable. It is so valuable. In fact, I don't know why it's free. I'm sure that's got to change at some point because so I just don't know. There must just be trying to acquire users, but it's that good. I mean, I would pay, if I had to like say how much I would pay for this, I'd probably pay like $20 a month per user for that, honestly, because it's so good. The other thing about it is when you go back and view the recording, it has an automatic transcript underneath that is searchable. So let's say you had an hour-long meeting and you remember someone talking about an action item. Let's just say it was post new Facebook ads to new audiences, right? And you just kind of forgot the context of that. You can actually go back to the recording and in the search bar, type in what you remember them saying, and it will go to that timestamp, show you the transcript, you click it, and it will play the video from that point. And so like, sure, you might say Zoom already can record meetings, right? Like, that's cool. I can already just, push record and it works. Yeah, but it's not searchable. And it's not gonna give you highlights. It's not gonna give you action items. It's not gonna summarize things for you. This tool, honestly, has been one of the biggest game changers this year for us, I think, in terms of just understanding how to make meetings more efficient and go back and actually, use the recordings, in an efficient way.
Yeah. Couldn't agree more, man. This is one of the biggest tools I think we've adopted this year or in the past year for sure. Cool, guys. Okay, moving on. This one's not necessarily, I would say, like a tool, but it's definitely a resource that we use pretty much every single day. Facebook Ads Library. So if you're in the ads world, this is basically a public database of what everybody else is doing. So if you have competitors or if you know what other people are doing, or if you want to know what they're doing, this is a really great tool. Just Google Facebook Ads Library and you can go ahead and do that. There's also a Google version of this as well that I can get into here in a little bit, but don't want to spend too much time there. Just note that like your competitors' ads are totally viewable. if they're running Facebook ads. And so don't ignore that. You utilize that as a resource for you. Okay. Typeform. This is a really big one. So if you are in a business or in any sort of situation where you want to collect form submissions or application responses, Typeform is a very clean, very beautiful tool that just looks great whenever your leads or prospects are going through it. And it's great. It has logic. You're able to kind of say, hey, if someone answers this way, then do this with that. You can redirect people after submissions. Really great way to do things like qualify leads and lead score them. But absolutely a tool that we highly recommend. And we've seen a lot of other people in our space utilize as kind of like the main staple for collecting form submissions. So not sure if there's anything else, Dakota, you want to talk on there, but
I think like Typeform is a really nice way to collect surveys because it doesn't live in the same place as the calendar booking. So like if you're booking calls in a funnel, Typeform gives you a way to kind of collect information without necessarily having to get that call done right then. And so we found that when we have Typeform in a funnel, we'll get more leads and more people that can be reached out to because they don't have to actually like find a time on your calendar to book. And so a lot of times, you know, you can add a step to the funnel with Typeform, and people are more willing to give their information this way because Typeform really feels super nice when you use it. It's like smooth. The UI is beautiful. It's well thought through. It's very customizable. So yeah, I would say like if you haven't tried using a separate survey platform and you're running like a VSL funnel or like a call funnel, definitely try Typeform. It's our favorite one.
Yeah, for sure. This next one's interesting. So Matthew on our team actually was the one who discovered this one, but it's a tool called Squoosh, kind of a funny name, but it's an image compression tool. Yeah, Squoosh, image compression tool. So for all of us that do any kind of like funnel builds or you're sending any sort of traffic to your website, one of the things that is extremely important is your load time, right? The last thing you want is someone to click your page, takes forever to load, and then they bounce or they leave, right? So this tool is free. You upload images to it, it compresses them, and it allows your site and funnel pages to load much faster. So if you're not currently compressing images on your sites and funnels, try it out. You might be surprised at how load times can really truly affect conversion rates. So yeah, not much else to say there, but definitely try out Squoosh if you're operating on a funnel or a website. Hotjar, this is a fun one. Dakota, you want to talk about Hotjar?
Hotjar. So a lot of times people have like a funnel that's running, and sorry, I'm just putting Hotjar in the comments here, and they are wondering what's going wrong on their funnel. Their question might be, why am I not getting any sales? Why is no one opting in? Why is XYZ bad thing happening, right? I'm spending all this money and like just can't figure out my conversion rate. So Hotjar is like the number one tool to get your CRO or conversion rate optimization up, because what Hotjar lets you do is put basically some code on your website or your funnel, and then you wait a little bit of time, you come back, and what Hotjar has done in that little bit of time is it has recorded every user session that has viewed your website. And so what it does with that data that it records, and it's not telling you like Joe Schmo from Cleveland viewed your funnel. It's not like invasive data. It's much more like broad strokes of, hey, you had 1,000 people view your funnel and here's what they did. Right. And so what you can see now is heat maps. Heat map is basically, where do people click? Where do they put their mouse? Where do they scroll to on your funnel? So if your conversion rate is bad, you might go into Hotjar and you might see, oh, shoot, they're not even scrolling past halfway through the page and they're not even seeing my button and they can't click on anything because they're just stuck at the top, reading the copy and it's not what they want to see. So they leave the page. And then now, oh, shoot, maybe I should put the button up top or change the copy or whatever, right? Information you just wouldn't have had without Hotjar. What Hotjar also lets you do is actually record individual user sessions. So you can actually go through and watch recordings of people interacting with your website, which is kind of trippy.
The first time I saw that, I was like, that's so cool.
Yeah, it's kind of trippy, but it's like extremely, extremely beneficial if you're trying to figure out what's going wrong in your funnel. And what's cool about Hotjar is that they do a free trial. So it's not really a free software, but they do a free trial. that I won't say that you can just sign up for on different emails, every day for the next 6 months. I definitely won't say that, but you could do that if you really were looking for a budget option.
So true. So true. Yeah. Hotjar is great. If you're trying to optimize a page or get conversion rates better, definitely check it out. Next one on the list is Canva. We use this one all the time for so many different things. Cannot say enough amazing things about Canva. And just how they're constantly improving that platform as well is really cool to see how they're bringing in AI like image creation and things like that to it. It's just really, really, really powerful. So you can use this for design edits basically for anything. We use it for YouTube thumbnails, ads, video, banners, posts. I mean, whatever, literally. It's just a great free way to kind of, if you're not, let's say you're not like a Photoshop person, you're not a professional editor, you don't have like a ton of software. Canva is like the easiest way to get started to get great looking designs without having to be a professional or expert editor, right? So
100%.
Definitely check it out. I don't know what else you want to say about that.
Yeah, the other thing that I used it for a couple of weeks ago that I didn't even know you could do, and granted, I pay for the premium version of Canva, so maybe this, I don't know how well this would work on the free version, but I downloaded it on my phone. I put in I just typed in podcast video, and it literally had like, I don't know, 50 templates or something of like animated video for podcast stuff. And I was able to just edit the pictures, throw in like a couple different texts and download it right there. And it's just like a video editor on your phone with free templates. So like, even if you're not creative in the slightest, which I'm not really good at design at all, it has a template. So you can't really go wrong. You just swap out the words, you swap out a couple things, and then you have a brand new, video in this case to post to your story. So I thought that was mind blowing, because I'm like, Canva, yeah, graphic design, that's cool, but it's so much more than that now. And they're, like you said, Caleb, they're really, really growing that platform.
Yeah. That's one of the things that we always love to see, right? Is if you're going to use a tool, is the team behind it constantly improving, adding to it, and do they seem like they actually care, right? And you can tell that with Canva, they're like constantly trying to make that thing better, which is really neat to see. Cool, guys. So we're already 30 minutes in. We've gone through a lot of the must-haves. What we're going to roll through now is just a few Chrome extensions. We'll try not to linger too long on each of these, just kind of fly through to give you guys a quick overlook. But these are tools that literally, if you're using Chrome browser, you can just install these as plugins or extensions, and they're just accessible to you at the top whenever you need them, right? So Built With is the first one we'll go over. Really cool tool when you're doing research, because what it allows you to do is you can research other websites that are using the same tools that you use. So for example, let's say that you're trying to go and find other people who use Shopify. Maybe you're an agency that services people that use Shopify. You can literally go to Built With and find a whole list of people that utilize the Shopify platform. And so that's really cool. The other side of it is you use it as a plugin when you're on a website, and it'll give you a list of the tools that website was built with, right? So if you want to go off to a competitor site, see what they're using, Built With is a really, really, really cool tool there as well. So moving on to the next one, Colorzilla. This one is interesting. I actually love using this one because I don't know if you guys have ever been maybe in Canva, right? Or some other tool, and you're trying to pull a specific color, like a very, very specific color. Colorzilla is a plugin you can click. It gives you like the little dropper, and you click anywhere on the page, and it pulls the actual hex code and color directly for you, and then you can just copy and paste that elsewhere. So huge time saver if you've ever been in that predicament before. Anything else there, Dakota? But
no, that's a good one.
All right. You dive into Facebook Pixel Helper. This is one that I know you.
Yeah, well, we've talked about this a lot in here, so I don't think we need to add too much. I've talked about this in the module or the video that we did, the free training on how to launch Facebook ads. Pixel Helper basically just shows you what events are firing on your funnel, or if the pixel's even working. So you just can't do Facebook ads without the Pixel Helper. You definitely need to have that one.
Yep, for sure. We already talked about Loom. Just know that they have a Chrome extension as well. Tag Assistant, this is legacy by Google. So basically same exact thing as Facebook Pixel Helper, but for Google. And they have
actually they have it. We can update that one too. They have a new one. It's called Tag Assistant for Conversions Beta. So
yeah, I've got that right here.
One anymore. Oh, you have it there. Yep, beautiful. So that's the one you'll want to use for sure. Is that new beta version?
Yep. Then video speed controller. This one's interesting. So a lot of times videos nowadays will have a setting for you to increase the speed, but sometimes they don't. And so if that ever annoys you, if you're ever watching a video and you're like, dang it, I really wish I could watch this on 2x or higher, video speed controller is a really helpful tool. Helps you save time if you're one of those people that just likes to fly through videos. I'm definitely one of those people. So check that tool out if you have not. SimilarWeb. I believe we've talked about this one before as well, but if you haven't used this one of the best tools for competitor research. It's going to allow you to look at websites that are similar to the one you're currently on. It's going to give you like stats like what's their traffic rank, estimated number of visitors. And also if you dive deeper and you do like a paid version with them, they'll like give you really detailed stats on like other websites that are similar to them. So it's like kind of shows you additional competitors that they know are similar to the site that you're looking at. Hence the name SimilarWeb. Anything else on that one, Dakota?
No, man, you got it. Keep crushing.
All right. I just want to fly through these Chrome extensions because I know we've got a lot. Upfluence. Okay. So this one's really helpful if you're ever in the realm of doing research on other bigger brands or influencers. Okay. So if you're in the marketing world and you ever have to think about like, hey, who's another big presence in this space? Or you're trying to find other people that are, this tool is really, really, really great. It'll give you quick stats on if someone's legit. And what I mean by that is it does a really solid job of being able to tell you if it's like fake followers or real followers, which is an important thing to note if you're doing research on an influencer. And yeah, so it's really just great. It gives you like follower engagement stats, just a little bit more in-depth things that you wouldn't normally be able to say on, let's say, Instagram, right? So yeah, if you're ever doing research or want stats on influencers, or if you are an influencer, check it out. It'll give you some stats that you might not have seen before. SwipeTube. Okay, so SwipeTube, this tool is really great for documenting and saving great ads that you see on YouTube. It also connects directly with VidTow. So earlier when we were talking about the Facebook ads library, VidTow is like the YouTube version of that. Okay, and the neat thing is that if you download SwipeTube as the Chrome extension, it connects directly to VidTow, which basically gives you like a swipe file list of all of that. So if you're watching YouTube, you see an ad that you like, or it's like a competitor ad that you want to save, you just click the SwipeTube extension, boom, it saves to a list inside of your VidTow account, which is like your YouTube ad library, right? So really, really, really great tool if you're into YouTube ads or if you're running YouTube ads. Ooh, Dakota, you showed me this one actually. Wistia Video Downloader.
Yeah, Wistia Video Downloader. So there's a video hosting website called Wistia. So similar to Vimeo or YouTube, even a lot of marketers use Wistia. And so this plugin basically every time there's a Wistia video on any page, it shows a little emblem in the top left or right, I can't remember, that just looks like a download button, and it actually lets you just download that video directly straight from the website that you're on. Why I like this is because a lot of times in our industry, people remove the ability to skip forward in videos. And I just want to see kind of the structure of the video without having to watch the whole thing. So Wistia Video Downloader lets you download it, and then you own that video on your computer now, so you can actually skip through, using whatever video software you're using. So yeah, that's a good one. Kind of a niche use case, but it's definitely useful. For sure.
Oh yeah, Paste App. You're the king of the Paste App too.
Okay, so this one is not free. But free. If there is a hill that I will die on, it's that Paste App has actually changed my computer life completely. And I've been using it for 3 years now, I think 2 or 3 years. I think it's like $4.99 a month, so it's not free. But Paste App basically is a clipboard app for Mac that allows basically every time you copy something, Command C, it adds it to your sort of like saved pastes. And it goes in this like really neat little toolbar that you can, make a keyboard shortcut, and it will save as many as you want. So I have it saving up to 180 days of copies. So I can basically search everything I've copied for the last 180 days after I copy it, and then I can just paste it right away too. It does other things like you can categorize things that you copy and paste. So I can have like one that's just for useful links that I use all the time that I can open up and paste directly into things. But when you're editing ads at scale, this is the most useful thing ever, because you're copying like 5 or 6 pieces of copy, 5 or 6 headlines, 5 or 6 URLs, and you don't have to go back to the document where you're pulling them from. You literally have them all saved right there in your clipboard, ready to deploy. So super, super, super helpful app. I'm not going to lie, best purchase you can make in the Apple Store. Seriously, I am not paid by these guys, not an affiliate. It's just literally my favorite thing ever. So there you go.
Cool. Yeah, man. It is really helpful. It really, really is. It's been really helpful for me too. Magnet on the Mac App Store. This is another one that you swear by, right?
Yeah, Magnet's similar in case of like in terms of usefulness. What's funny is that this is something Windows computers just do and Macs just don't, which is like you can assign sort of portions of your screen for Windows to go in, like back in the day you could, well, you still probably can. I just don't use Windows computers anymore. You can just like drag a Windows window to the left and it will like autofill the left portion of the screen. Macs don't do that. And so Magnet allows you to do that. I think it's a one-time purchase for Magnet, so it's not free either. But then it assigns computer shortcuts so you can like quickly push things to the left half of your screen, right half of your screen, bottom of your screen, top of your screen. I use this all the time because I have an extra wide monitor. And if I'm not using this, then everything is just everywhere and it's not
like
organized. Yeah. So really, really recommend Magnet as well.
Cool. All right, guys. Well, we just flew through like a million different tools. I know we said 5, but Dakota and I just can't help but try to just provide more value. It's in our blood. It's in our blood. So
if you go in and deploy all of those tools that we just like, literally all of those tools we use on a daily basis at AdClass to run ads for a lot of people, spend a lot of money in marketing with just those tools. I promise you, if you can figure out how to like start using these things, kind of dipping your toes in the water, looking at the trainings we're doing, you're going to become a very efficient marketer. This stuff we've learned over like 5 years. It's taken us a long time to kind of figure out which ones are good, which ones are bad. So that's the cheat sheet.
And we've tested a million tools that aren't on that list. So we've been through all of the ones. Yeah, we've been through all the ones, and that list is basically a very, very good comprehensive list of what you should try to test.